That right there is the sound of a rocket ship that I built all myself going up into space, specifically for the purpose of landing on the moon. Now, what you can see here is I'm currently doing an orbit. So basically, that's just me going up into space to the point where you go around the planet that you are orbiting, obviously. So you go around it, which basically means that you're not going to fall into it. You probably already know what an orbit is. The reason I did this is because, I saw the Artemis 2 launch live. I've been checking in with it on the live stream, on the live broadcasts every single day since the launch, and I thought it would be fun to go to the moon. It's always been a dream of mine, so today I decided to do that in Kerbal Space Program. You can see right here in the footage that I'm currently doing a maneuver node to create a very large orbit. Like, the periapsis is very, very high. Anyways, yeah, you can just see me doing the burn right now. I believe it's called an injection burn. I'm not too sure. I don't know the terminology and stuff of it. But yeah, you can see me checking the map and staging, checking the map again to make sure that the periapsis goes to the desired, area. Yeah, I don't know what to talk about. I sped up the footage because this is like 1 hour's worth of footage. And it did take me multiple attempts. You can see here that I'm actually deleting the maneuver because I had settled with that orbit. I'm creating a new maneuver node now to get an encounter with Kerbin's moon, called the Mun. And you can see here I've got an encounter. So I set the target as the moon. I focus the view, and then I plan another maneuver to make it so that I actually go into contact with it. So basically now I just wait until it is the right time in the orbital stretch for me to be able to do the burn. And yeah, now I'm actually setting alarms so that I know when it's going to happen. And you can see I should, in a second now, I'm going to release the fairings. Yep, there you go. So that is the landing module that you see there. And I should begin to time warp. Yep. I time warp to the designated area so that I can do the burn. And this burn basically just gets me an encounter with the Mun's gravitational field, its sphere of influence. I think this rocket ship had about 6,000 liters or whatever delta V is measured in. It had about 6,000 delta V. So this could have gone way further than just the Mun, I reckon. But given my fuel efficiency, it obviously didn't. You can see here the burn time is around 10 seconds now. So there we go. Cut the engines. I went over it a little bit, so now I have to redirect myself and undo what I did. So I'm going retrograde, and I'm going to burn retrograde until I get that encounter that I want. I don't really care if it's perfect, I just need an encounter. So now what I'm doing is I'm very steadily engaging the engines to the point where I can get a decent enough encounter with the moon, in order for me to be able to then maneuver the rocket while it's in the sphere of influence and land on the moon. Now, you'll see later on in this video, it doesn't really go how I intended it. In fact, I might need to do a part 2 of this video and rescue the people because they got stuck on the moon. So that was kind of scary. This is also the first video that I've ever, edited. Well, it's not the first video that I've ever edited. It's just, first video on this channel that I've ever edited. Hopefully nobody finds my other old channels. There's quite an abundance of them. Anyways, you can see down there node in T minus 30 seconds. So I've separated the stage. This might have been a big mistake, because now I lack the fuel to actually rendezvous back with Earth. But that doesn't even matter in the end, because what I do is I accidentally detach the crew capsule from the actual engine and fuel parts and stuff. So there is no way for the Kerbals that I sent up there to the moon to ever come back home. Which, I mean, it's fine. I'm sure they have plenty of food on board. They can hibernate, until rescue comes. I don't want to rush it, To be honest, I don't even know how to, what's it called? Rendezvous with another vessel. I've tried to rendezvous with a satellite that I built because I realised that I forgot an engine, so I tried to put an engine on it. I can't figure out how to rendezvous. I'm going to try, definitely. I'm going to try and improve my skills on that, but ooh, boy, do I suck. You see that cut there? That is actually because this is the second attempt that you're watching. I created a quick save. This is the second attempt you're watching because in the other attempt, I actually crashed into the moon by accident. So, not exactly what I wanted to happen, but it happened, so... Alright, now you can see that I'm trying to keep my orbit velocity quite low, or at least I should be doing it any second now. I just want to keep it quite low so that, we don't crash into it, because that was a very futile mistake that I did. So I'm keeping an eye out for it. Going about 35 meters per second on average, but as we descend lower, we are definitely going to shrink that. I sped up this footage even more because this was a pain. This was such a drag. It was honestly so annoying. Alright. And pretty soon we should have touchdown, only I mess it up because I'm being way too cautious with the how much fuel I have and how fast I'm going, because I really do not want to crash this again. And me stressing out over that fact probably wasn't a good idea, because now, as you're about to see here, it all goes to shit. It goes really, really bad. We are about to crash into that rock, so I try and divert the situation, turn on stability assist, but then I end up doing this. Obviously not what I meant to do, and then, to make it worse, I accidentally detached the crew capsule. So I have to spin it away, make it land forward, and then exit as Jebediah Kerman. And this is when we made first contact with the moon, and then I made him wait a whole, moon orbit, just so that we could have sunlight before he could plant the flag. You can see first moon landing. We are stuck and need rescuing, probably spelled wrong. Now here you can see me getting a screenshot. Just positioning myself to see the sun, and then I take a screenshot. Yeah, that's basically it. Having a little view from the crew. Yeah.